So I just went out and got a whole bunch of sand, put it in the bucket right here, put a bunch of fine sand around it, and look, it's like night and day. Hey guys, welcome back to Cherezian Racing. As you see, we got a little bit of body damage here from the last race that you guys just watched. I'm sure you did if you're a good following fan. We got third, car was not good. Got to do some more changes on the setup. But until then, we're gonna get some body work done. Got to get the engine all fired up and put these, no, I already got these guys in there. I got to reset the floats. And then would you look who we have over here? Somebody who's hardly ever in the shop anymore. Always stuck inside.
I know.
You want to show them my Rocky trick?
Yeah.
You guys want to get fast on foot, you got to catch a chicken.
Yeah, chicken run. Okay, look at this. Let's press play.
Yeah, how about you press play?
Like, how the hell did I press it? Look.
They can't even see
You got him.
Got it. That's all that matters. All right, gotta also, so I got the right side of the nose up, so we didn't tear into the ground at all, which is really cool, but it's jacked way up. But now the problem is the left side's digging in. It used to come out like this, and now it's flattened down. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to get that guy back into shape, get the hood off. We may or may not be racing November 3rd at Stockton. We cannot make the October 28th race at Antioch because we have prior obligations with our church food festival, so that's not going to be in the books for us. Wish I could make it, but there's always next year. Maybe. We'll see. Anything to say?
No.
No?
You're gonna do the floaties.
The floaties? And the oil changes?
And the oil changes.
Oh, survey says this thing works like a freaking charm. Wagon wheel air cleaner.
It looks really good too.
You like the way it looks?
Yeah, I like it.
It looks like a hack job, but it
Really?
works.
I don't think so.
The freaking air filter, I used to be able to look through here and it'd just be wobbling around all over the place with the stud. Doing the same thing, now it's pretty solid.
I think you did a good job on it. It looks really good.
Thank you. Walk on that a little bit. Gotta walk on it. All right, just pulled the air cleaner off to see how well the wagon wheel air cleaner top is doing. And the survey says, I'm not sure if you guys can see this, but it's working so good that it actually bent and warped the air filter bottom plate. So instead of it sitting flat, it's sitting like that now. This thing is super flimsy. I probably need to buy one of the nice Dave Hammond flat bottom air filters. So looking at the grease here, I do see a couple fine pieces of dirt. Not much, but definitely some in here. So I'm sure that probably has contributed to this thing sitting cockeyed and not sealing probably on the upper corners. So I'm gonna fire this baby up, raise these floats up, see if that fixes our issue with it rolling over and kind of stumbling. Because I've already tried lowering them and it didn't fix it. So I think maybe I'm getting fuel starvation. So I'm gonna go ahead and, right now it's probably about just below that bowl. So right about there. I'm gonna try to raise it probably like maybe halfway up the bowl hole. So once this thing is back in, I'll probably just give it a couple more turns, fill her up. Let's build some oil pressure here, huh? Wow, that's quick. Iron hole. Alright, I'm getting all kinds of weird readings, and I guess it's probably making sense now. I'm trying to level this carburetor out with a bubble. Got the left front jacked up, so the motor is pretty much flat right now. And I'm gonna set the floats even now with it the way it is now. Alright, now we got the front end jacked all the way up. Eric's under there changing the oil. I got both the floats exactly level with the carburetor level, so gonna try that out, see if that fixes our issues. Hopefully it does. I don't know what I was thinking setting the floats when I had the motor kind of cocked. So when I built this, well, I built the motor mounts for this, I built it so the motor kind of sits like this. That way when it rolls over, it kind of gets more even, but honestly it probably goes over even, and it gets probably more tilted towards the right side. So me setting the floats here probably didn't do very much justice when it's over there. So I'm gonna set it right there. Hopefully that's enough. How's the oil look?
I can't see it.
Well, we'll see when he pulls it out. Alright, I'm changing this tire off the rim. If you guys saw the last video, which I'm sure you did, you saw that we got a big old puncture right there. And I'm pretty sure I knew what it was. I'll show you in there later after I get this tire off, but it's on the frame. Little sharp edge. What the hell is going on out here? Why is this guy working on the Volkswagen at the pit stop? We don't work on Volkswagens here, son. Only American made.
Today we do, Junior.
What's we doing here? Doing brakes?
Yes, sir.
Rotors? Let me show you guys why Mr. Hillbilly Jack is doing brakes on his car. I don't know what he's doing, but these things are shot, and I'm talking like majorly shot. Look at all these freaking heat spots on them. This flash is really gonna screw it all up, but you see that? That's all super, super, super hot spots. I don't know what he was doing, running from the cops or something. Anyways, Eric got the first side done and showed him what to do, and now he's trying to do the side on his own. Is it working?
I think so.
Looks good. So far, so good. Alright, he's getting the pre-lube on the oil filter. 51060 Wix filter. The racing one is junk. It's only rated at like 60 microns. This is way, way, way too large of a hole. That's, I think, 20 or 25, something like that. That's what I like to run. Let's check out this oil, see how it looks. Alright. Definitely a little bit of metal in there. Check it out, but that's all real fine, fine, fine material. I think we're good. Alright, so I told you guys I was going to show you what the tire is rubbing on over here. You check this out right here. We built a little like mud cover here, so the mud doesn't get all down the freaking backside of the inside the race car and all. And we used a aluminum piece back here, so this guy doesn't melt from the header heat. And right here, as I think was where the right front tire was digging in, when it came all the way over, because we're pushing real bad, so let's turn the steering wheel way, way, way right. As you can see, it's rubbing on the frame rail here a little bit. And I think it pulled up this aluminum piece right there, and that's what the puncture came from. So I'm pretty much gonna go ahead and cut this guy smooth and then put like a bunch of rivets in it so it holds it kind of flush. There's no more sharp edges. Because basically this is a 3-piece spindle set, and there's no like, I guess you call them bump stops or whatever, so it doesn't prevent the wheel from going too far back when you're on the steering wheel really hard on the right. So it digs in pretty good there. But as long as it's smooth, I think it's okay. I just can't have any sharp edges. All right, and I cut open the oil filter to take a look at the element in there, and it's down here in the freaking garbage can. You probably see it down there. But we, folded it way out, cut open the top of it, and then pulled all the elements out, and then kind of laid it out like an accordion, and looked at it, and there was like maybe a handful of like little small flakes, very tiny, but they're aluminum. They do not get picked up with a magnet, so I'm not really sure what that is. I don't think it's much really, honestly, because it's just like, you know, like I said, a handful. But it's maybe like some piston skirt material, or I don't know, maybe some bearing like slag, if you will. But the motor oil looked really good in there, so I don't think we have any issues. But that's something you always really want to do, is you cut open your oil filter and look at the element, make sure you don't have anything metal in there, like maybe a rocker arm going or a valve stem going out on you. I think we're okay on the motor. Just stripped off all the wheels and tires, and I'm gonna go ahead and wash them tomorrow when we have a little bit of light. Get the old pressure washer out there with our soap attachment, which works really well. So get all this cleaned up, and unfortunately I just got word that the November 3rd race I was talking to you guys about at Stockton got canceled. It's like the 3rd race they canceled there this year. It's crazy. I don't know what the deal is there. They're running the sprint car series, but they're not running the pro stock series. So unfortunately, I think this is going to be the end of our season for the super stock. I don't really know what the plan is between now and next year, like, which is basically April at that point. But hopefully we'll figure out something to do in the meantime. Hopefully maybe they'll do some winter racing at Stockton like they had before, like in January, February. Cross your fingers.
This really is the nation of rednecks for real. I mean, look at it. Look everywhere. We're everywhere. Damn rednecks. I do really have a Rottweiler named Moonshine too.
Alright, just got done washing all 4 tires, and after looking at them real good, I realized that the right rear tire from the last race got roasted off. I'm not sure if you guys can see this, but it is dang near to the cords, like hardly any tread left. And it wasn't that bad of a tire. It was like, I don't know, it wasn't new, but it was close to new. It was probably 3/4 tread. So this guy just got absolutely roasted off. You can see a lot of edges from it. I guess it's sliding on the track, and also here where I'm on the throttle, it's kind of got like a little lip built up there. But the weird thing is looking at the left rear, there's like almost nowhere at all. Like, it doesn't look like I ran this thing on that night. There's no freaking lips anywhere. You don't see any like worn over edges. Here's a weird thing, guys. After the race, I immediately got out of the car and put my hand on both the tires, and obviously that right rear was doing probably like 95% of the work. And it wasn't cool, but it was just like lukewarm. I went over to the left rear, put my hand on that, it was hot. And I'm like, how does that make any sense? If this one is hot, it's probably getting used harder, and you'd expect more wear on it, right? Obviously not the case. This guy was cool and it was doing all the work. So my mind tells me like, oh, you know, whatever tire is hotter is the one that's digging in harder to the track, it's doing more work. And that's kind of how I always thought that worked. And then talking to my old buddy over there at Dirt Race Life, Jason Dukes, one of his videos, he was saying, I'm going to feed the hot tire, meaning I'm going to put more weight where the hot tire is, because the hot tire is the one that's slipping on the track, and that's why it's creating heat. Blew my mind. I mean, that's a new concept to me. I've never heard it before. And so I think I've been going the wrong direction on trying to add wheel load to the tire that's hot. Or excuse me, the tire that... Wow. Scratch that. I understand this concept so little I can't even say it right. I've always been trying to add wheel-like load to the tire that is cool, thinking that that's the tire that needs to have more load to build up heat. But yeah, I've just been doing it wrong, I guess, the whole years, all these years. So I'm guessing I need to put some weight, or maybe some more spring load on the left rear tire. Let me know what you guys think I should do. But yeah, roasted right rear off, and left rear looks perfect still. So ended up putting new tire on the right front, new used tire, really good life on it. So that's pretty much it. Unfortunately, there's nowhere to race, so usually just have to sit on the car out there in the weeds probably for a while. Probably pull the hobby stock back in here, get working on it. I got a floor jack under the left front of the nose, trying to bend this thing back into shape. I'm gonna heat up this corner right here, right in the middle, and hopefully it'll bend back out, and then I'll let it kind of sit and cool off, and hopefully it'll regain its shape back. All right, let her off the jack. Looks pretty good. Now I'm gonna build some spring steel, put it right about here, probably like this side is over there. And then I'll go back to the frame and give it some more support, so it won't actually do what it did like it did last time. It'll kind of keep it up. All right, guys, it's a beautiful Saturday. Hanging out, about to do a little tire prep here. I'm gonna grind this tire and then wrap it. And this will be the left rear for our spare set, which is gonna be like our dry slick kind of like tire package, where I'm not really putting a lot of grooves in it. I'm just putting sipes and then a fresh cut on it with the grinder, and wrap it and put it over there with the other wrap one. That's our right rear. And this guy we had to throw on the right front for the last race because we popped the tire in the heat race. So I'm just gonna go ahead and re-prep it and then wrap it, get that fresh rubber out there exposed, and then safely put away in the wrap for the next race, whenever that might be. Little hydration for this prepping session. All right, not really sure if you guys could see what I just did on the time lapse, but I'm trying something new out here. I saw it the other day on the internet where some guy was pouring a bunch of freaking baby powder on his tire before he ground it. And I'm assuming why it was because you can see we are grinding. So I just went out and got a whole bunch of sand, put it in a bucket right here, put a bunch of fine sand around it, and look, it's like night and day. Didn't grind, did grind. So you can find if you missed a spot or something. So basically, it's gonna make my whole life a whole lot easier. And then so I put the sand on there, and I took my air hose there, blew off all the stuff like in the grooves and stuff, so it's clean. We just got that fine film on there. So this is gonna be nice. Trying it out, and I think it's working good. All right, got the tire all prepped and wrapped there, and now I made my way over to the nose again to show you guys what I'm doing under here. All right, I just put this piece of aluminum plate in here, give it some support, because this freaking nose is just like flimsy as hell. So got that all bent back in shape, and now I'm gonna go ahead and put a spring steel from here, the frame, right there. All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and chop off the bracket I'm gonna weld to the frame here. All right, got her all welded up pretty good. All right, just got the two spring steel pieces cut out from the roll over here. And I like to double up on these long pieces like this because the single ones just seem like they bend way too easily. So now I'm gonna go ahead and use my all-star punch here, badass tool. Put a hole in them and then call them ready to go on the car. All right, looking through the eyes of the beholder. Just made this little bracket right here to go on the end, and got a couple little nut insert things on there, so ready to go, baby. Good time to bring out a racer. back working on this car. I'm gonna show you what's going on at the front end and why I think I popped the tire last race. As you can see, all this rubbing on the frame rail here. This is our little guard here, and so I'm gonna go ahead and drill a couple more rivets and make like maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm gonna go ahead and trim this guy right flush on the rivet, so everything it has to rub on here is gonna be smooth. Alright, here's the finished product. See, I trimmed it with the grinder right along this edge here. It's rubbing over here, so if it does want to come over here, it's just gonna have some smooth areas to graze. So hopefully no more punctures with that. If you guys don't run these mud flaps, I would highly suggest it. Around here we have the mud pack, and then our hot lap session is kind of like mud packing again most of the time. So we get a lot of mud, and this thing is a huge deal. When we first put these things on in 2020, it was like night and day difference. My pit crew guys are like, man, so much easier not having to scrape all the mud out of all this upper decking and stuff. So I highly suggest it, and they kind of look cool. All right, now I'm moving my way up here. I'm gonna go ahead and take these fuel bowls off here. And I know I just set the floats with the carburetor level, but I want to just go ahead and get a measurement. I saw on one of the instructional videos on how to tune these carburetors, sticking a 3/8 drill bit in between the top of the float is and the top of, I guess, the inside of the bowl here. It should be right in that range. So I'm going to go ahead and pull them both off, check it. I don't know why, but I had to have this screw down a whole lot farther than this screw when I went ahead and adjusted. So I'm thinking maybe the float in this one may be bent up or down. I'm just gonna go ahead and check it out and take a peek in there. All right, just spent about an hour going through this carburetor, and I found some kind of weird stuff. So now, I take the float like that, tip it upside down, my 3/8 drill bit. Pretty much right, just about flush with it. So what I found was the rear bowl, the needle and seat inside of it was 100 thousandths window. The one on the front was 120 thousandths window. So I went and broke out my old carburetor box here and went through it all. So I got the same size windows in both the front and rear bowls, and then I found this carburetor laying around that's actually for the hobby stock, and I stole the bowl off it because before, I don't know what happened, but it's like somebody put two secondary bowls in this thing. So one of the side screws was on the other side, so the primary, or the primary side was over here, and I don't know what the deal was, so I had to check the float level on this side on the primaries, and the secondaries over here, it was on this side. So now I got them both matching after I swapped this front fuel bowl. So that should help me set the floats a little better, but they should be pretty accurate out of the box. And what I had to do is, where this guy is in here right now, let's see if I can take this guy off for you. All right, so before, when this guy was about 3/8 up, the needle and seat was almost flush with the bowl. So what I had to do is I had to go in there and pry up a little bit on the little, I guess, indicator that you'd call it on the actual float itself to bring it up so I can actually get the nut on it and make adjustments. So a lot of little things I guess I missed when I was rebuilding this carburetor last time, but I think we're in the right direction. Gonna put her back together, see how she runs. All right, so I fired her up and jacked her up, so I got the carburetor level again with the bubble, and right out of the box, both these sight plugs right here, once they're pulled out, the fuel level is right on the bottom of them, so really close. So I'm gonna just call that good for now. And I said that our season's over and there's nowhere to race, but I just found out that Marysville Raceway, which is about 2 hours from here, is racing this weekend, October 21st, with my class, and that'd probably be the last race of the year. So I'm kind of debating if I wanted to go to that or not. My biggest dilemma here is I don't have an air filter base. This one over here got bent, as I told you guys, and I bought one from Speedway Motors, which is a Cherezian type of air cleaner base, and it's really, really beefy. It's like, this is the adapter that goes for it. It's really thick aluminum, and it just kind of comes up and it goes flat. And so I bought that, but the problem is Speedway Motors has it on back order, and they have no ETA on when I'm going to get it or not. So I was trying to hopefully find somebody who has one I can just borrow for a race around here, you know, between here and Marysville. So if you guys know anybody who's got a Cherezian air cleaner base, flat base, that I could borrow just for a race, let me know in the comments or something, because that's kind of like the deciding factor if I'm going to go to that race or not. Because all I got to really do is run these 2 panels through the English wheel over there, and a little bit of tire prep. I got to probably put a new tire on this right rear, and just get another baseline on the chassis and get a better setup in it, and I can go race one more time this year. So we'll see if I can find somebody to give me that, let me borrow the Cherezian deal. That'd be really great. And it's also the first weekend of duck hunting, and the opening weekend is normally really, really, really good for hunting. So my hunting house up there is actually kind of close to Marysville, about less than an hour away, so it might work out. But I'm probably gonna go up that way anyway, so if I can bring the race car with me, that'd be great. We'll see how it all works out, but if we race, great. If we don't, then that'll be the end of the season, and we'll see you guys here working in the shop here locally, the Knighton Pit Stop. And until then, guys, if it's bent and ain't broken, and if you know somebody wants to let me borrow the air filter bottom, let me know.